Hey everybody, Jesse here for 3Prong Gaming, and in today's episode, we are going to continue in the behavior tree, getting our NPC to start regaining stamina. We've got it to deplete, so let's go ahead, grab your cup of coffee, cup of hot cocoa, whatever you need, load up your editor, sit back, and let's get this thing going. Alright, yeah, so in the last episode, we went ahead and we started getting our NPC to start depleting their energy, and so that way they're getting to a point where they actually need to do some sleep. And in this episode, like I said, we're going to start hooking up our sleep functionality right here. There's a few things we're going to go ahead and change around here, nothing too major. This is most likely going to end up being a two-part little series here on this one. Just because as I was doing it, there was quite a bit actually that I ended up doing. So yeah, this will probably end up being two parts. After I got done doing this, I was looking at it, and you know, it felt like it was a little bit sloppy. And just be forewarned, it might be a little bit sloppy, but I'm not quite. I could see some ways to be able to optimize it, but it's going to require to go back and change a lot of things. So take what you can from this one. There's going to be a decent amount of information to process, nothing too major, but there are going to definitely be ways that you could go back and optimize this, and I'll point those things out as we come across them. Okay, but let's just go ahead and go with it. Let's create some space here, and I'm thinking too, creating a little mini tutorial on creating sub behavior trees that we can run in here, so that way our main behavior tree just isn't so jumbled. Because as you start going in this and start adding all the functionality your NPC, your AI is going to need, it's going to get really messy and really confusing in here. So whenever you can create sub behavior trees, then that's a good thing to do. When I first started doing this, just so you know, I thought about it, but the subtrees really didn't run too well. There were some issues with it, so I didn't really worry about it. But since I think 4.11, they really are doing pretty good with it now. So yeah, we can move all these in the subtrees, and really it's a pretty easy thing. It'd be a pretty short video. You could probably even test it out and do it yourself, but we'll worry about that in another episode. Let's get this one going here. Okay, over here in the find existing house in the homeless section here, we've got this task called is at location. We're going to change this up a little bit, and we're going to make this like we always do with everything, try to make it multi-purpose. And really this is probably the part that's kind of gets a little messy, that could probably use some optimization, because we can incorporate this really with our construction if we wanted to, but it would require to go back and do some stuff in it. So let's go ahead and open up this task, is at location, open that up. Okay, and we've got this in here. So the way it goes right now, if you remember, we come in here, we check, we have a Boolean variable here that's exposed that we can set from the task out here. You can see new residence, we can tick it on or off. And if it is a new residence, then we come in here, we set new residency and run all the tasks for in there for creating a home. I'm not going to go over all of that. You can check out those videos there. And then it comes across here, and we had created this task, which really doesn't do anything at this point, called enter building. It goes to the building master BP, passes in the pawn reference, and tells you if it was successful or not entering the building. So let's go ahead and double click this. Okay, and that's all it is right here, is enter building. This is in the building master BP. This is designed so that all the children of the building master can incorporate its own functionality as it's needed, because almost every type of building that you're going to have is going to have its own requirements for entering the building. Sometimes they're just going to enter and you're going to turn them invisible. Other times they might be entering to do whatever functionality they need to do. So, but with this, we also need to create an exit building. So let's go ahead and do that really quick. This is all we'll have to do in the building master today. Create a new function here. And let's go ahead and call this exit building. And just like with the enter building, we're going to need the input here. Let's go ahead and call this NPC. We will make it of type I think we named it NPC blueprint reference. All right, and then on the output, let's create a new output, and we'll just call this exited building and make it a Boolean. Cool, that's all we got to do for this one. So let's go ahead and compile that, save it. All right, and close that one out. So back here in the is at location, one thing I want to do here is at location, oops, can get a little confusing. We do have a decorator called is at location. So I want to go ahead and rename this really fast. Let's go back out here and into our AI. We've got look for T is at location. Okay, so let's just go ahead and I don't know, you could probably come up with a better name than I did. I just called it T underscore enter exit building. Now, obviously, it does a little bit more than that because it's going to end up doing is we're still going to have it checking for residency, but ultimately, that's what this task is going to do is just enter and exit buildings. Okay. So yeah, you can call it whatever you want. I just did this for a little bit more clarity. All right. So what we need to do now is let's go ahead and on this branch, let's go ahead and break this, right? And let's go ahead and break this as well. And we're going to take this stuff here, minus this set new residency, and let's just move it down. We're going to just create some sub events down here that we can call. It'll just help keep it a little bit cleaner. All right, so we got set new residency. So now we need to create a new event. Let's go custom event. I'm sorry, I was looking at my cheat sheet there. Call this one enter building. Okay. So now what we need to do with this one is pretty much all we've got right here is what we need to do, right? This is the exact same thing. We're just cleaning this up a little bit. Okay. So it's going to come in, check its location, our current location. And if it is a building master, then we want to enter the building, send in our pawn reference that we have over here, and hook up the entered building. So if we entered it successfully, then it'll execute. If something happened within this code, then it will fail. So it'll be a little easier to diagnose then of what's going on. So that's all we need to do for that one. Okay, so now we need to pretty much do the same thing. Let's go ahead and comment this. Let's call this one enter building. Okay, create us a little bit of space. Let's go ahead and create another custom event, and we'll call this one exit building. All right, let's go ahead and compile it and save it here. Now on this exit building, again, let's just go ahead and let's just copy this, Control W. Let's set it right there. So grab our controller. Let's get that one. So now we need to create an event that will allow us to leave the building. So in this, I went ahead and I put this into the NPC, the AI controller. All right, so let's go ahead and do NPC AI controller. Let's open that up. All right, within this, let's go ahead and create a new function. Let's just call this one leave location. All right, on this leave location, what we need new input. Let's go ahead and call this one location, and we will actually just make this of type object. So object, there it is right there, reference. And the reason why we made this an object is because our back here, our Blackboard value as actor, and actually we could probably change that to object, because I believe if we go back in here real quick into our Blackboard, our current location is an object. So we really should be passing through an object. It's okay if we pass through an actor is an object. So we should be doing that, but it'll be okay. If not, it won't let us do it. But so we need to pass this through. All right, so let's take this out. Let's do cast to construction. Oops. Construction proxy blueprint. Okay. We want that hooked up with the execution pins. All right. And if it is a construction off the true right here, or off the successful, we need to, let's see, I don't think we have this event. Yeah, now we need to, if it is the construction proxy, we need to have a function to where we can actually leave shift. All right, we don't have this yet, so we need to go into our construction proxy now. And let's go construction proxy blueprint. Okay, and we need to create a new function right here. We will call this function leave shift. Oops, I misspelled that. Yeah, that's a Freudian type slip. All right, leave shift. All right, now we need to know who is leaving shift. Okay, so we need to know which one we need to remove here. So let's just call this one employee. All right, and it's just going to be an MPC BP reference. Okay, because remember, if you remember back, we've got this array of active workers right here that we need to remove this employee from. Okay, so we need to take this, and actually let's pull off of this one first, and let's just do find. We need to find the item, and the item we need to find is this employee. Okay, so now we need to take off of this and do greater than integer. We need to change this to -1, because if we can't find this employee within this active list in this find function right here, then it's going to return -1. So we need to make sure that what we're passing through is an actual active worker in here. Okay, so drop in a branch. Let's go ahead and hook this up right here. And off the true, let's go ahead and grab our active workers again. Pull that out here. And if it is true, then what we need to do is we need to go remove item. We don't want to remove index. Let's just remove the item. Hook up the true right here. And the item we want to remove is the employee. Okay. Just like so. And let's go ahead and drop in a where is it here? Come on. There it is. Drop in a return node. We're going to need 2 of these, so just Control W and drop in another one. Let's add an output here as well, and we'll call this one exited building, and we will make it of type Boolean. Okay, so this way we just double check, and we'll hook this up, because if we didn't remove successfully, we're going to want to know that. And it will show up. I mean, it'll fail. The task will fail if we don't exit the building properly. So then it'll make it a little easier for diagnosing. All right, and leave this one false, because if we can't find it in here, false, we didn't exit the building. So we'll also return false there. And that's pretty much it for the leaving the shift. All right, it's pretty easy. Okay, there it is right there. Squeeze this in a little bit. All right. Go ahead and close out the construction proxy now, and then back in the AI controller. So now we can take this and let's do leave shift. Call the function leave shift, and the employee will be our NPC reference. Yeah, pawn reference right here. I call it NPC reference in my cheat sheet there. All right. Pawn reference, that's the one we want right there. That's the employee we're looking for, because a pawn reference is the owner of this controller, the pawn that's using this controller, all right? So just compile and save that just to make sure we ain't got no errors. And then from there, let's go ahead and leave location. Again, let's do a new output on this and do this exited building. And again, make this a Boolean. Drop this here at the end and pass this through. Did we successfully exit the building? Okay. Now, if it's not, to make this multifunctional here, since this is in the AI controller, leave location. It's not just for the construction proxy. We're going to need this for the for the apartments right now that we're going to be doing, and for anything else in the near future. So we need to take this location, and we need to cast to a building master BP. Almost everything else we do aside from construction should be within this building master. Okay, there might be some times when you don't have this set, when you create something else similar to the construction proxy that just won't fit within the building master, and that's fine. We'll handle that when the time comes. I don't foresee any of that, but you always want to leave yourself some space just in case. All right. So if it is a building master, what we need to do is we need a function to actually exit the building. Okay. So we created in the building master, we created the function to exit the building, but now we need to go inside our actual apartment. All right, do that and open up full blueprint editor. Okay, let's just go ahead and delete this stuff for now. We don't need it. Add a new function. Let's call this new function enter building. We're going to do the enter and the exit, but let's work on the enter first. Enter building. Oh, we've already got that one. Duh. Delete that. Sorry about that. Delete function. All right. Yeah, no, we didn't need that. So let's just override. There it is. Override enter building. Get rid of this parent and move this return off to the side. All right. So now what do we need to do? We need to, first we need to pull off this one, and let's do set actor hidden in game. Okay, because we want them to disappear. We don't want to be able to see them when they're there. New hidden is set to true. Okay, now if you remember, back in our AI controller, we've got regain stamina and deplete stamina. Okay, so now when we enter the building, remember we're in the apartment building. When we enter the building, that means we're going to sleep. So we need to, the way we set this up is that depleting stamina, it's set on a timer. But what we got here to make sure we switch is it's constantly checking from tick. I believe this is all tick or event play. It's actually on event play, it's actually just a timer. The timer's constantly going. It's on a loop. Both of them are on a loop. So while this is going, we're checking if the timer is paused. If the timer is paused, true, then it's going to come up here and start regaining stamina. It's going to run our function in there. And we're going to set up a custom event in here so we can switch this. We'll do that in just a couple minutes. So that way we know, because it's not on a tick. So it's not constantly checking this. Just the function or the timer is constantly ticking itself, but it will never do this. So we'll have to set up a custom event here. We'll get to that in just a second. Okay. So back in the apartment blueprint, we need to pull off the NPC here. We need to get the AI controller. We want our reference. We don't want that one. I mean, you can get the AI controller, but then you got to cast that AI controller. We've already got the reference within the blueprint itself. So get AI controller reference. Okay, now off of the AI controller reference, let's pull off of that and do deplete stamina handle. Let's get that. All right, plug that up in there. So now what we need to do is we need to take that depletion, because remember we're entering a building, and we need to pause timer by handle. Okay, so let's go ahead and plug that in. So now our depletion is paused. We're no longer going to deplete our stamina. So now we come back like I was talking about. Let's go back into the AI controller. So now we need to create a custom event. Let's go ahead and call this one switch sleep. Drag that and let's plug that right into this branch. Okay, so now whenever we call this switch sleep, it's going to run this branch and everything after this branch again, which means now it's going to check, is the deplete stamina handle paused? Well, we just paused it in our function that will over here in the apartments, and it's going to check, and now it's going to start this regain stamina, and that's the one that's going to be going. So compile that and save it and go back into the apartments right here. So now we need to, where am I? Sorry, I lost my cheat sheet. So now we just need to pull off of the AI controller right here that we have. Let's enter a reroute node. Pull off of this, and let's just do switch sleep. Plug that in right there. Hook up the return node and enter the building. Yes, we completed everything successfully. We don't have we could probably set something up to make sure that we check, but right now we'll just hard code entered building as true. That is just fine. And that's all we need for this one. All right. So that's what we need to do when we enter the building. So now let's go back into our, where are we? Enter exit building. Okay. So we're entering the building right there. Got our leave location hooked up. Let's see, exit building, enter building. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to get my steps together right here. Exit building. Yeah, so let's go ahead and just go ahead and code up the exit building as well. So let's jump back into the apartment small right here. All right, and come back down here to functions, override exit building. Okay, again, let's get rid of this parent. We don't need that. Let's slide this off to the side. All right, so we need to take our MPC here. This is just pretty much the reverse of what we just did. All right, so set actor hidden in game. All right, now we want this false because we want our MPC to be visible at this point. Again, pull off and get AI controller reference. Pull off of this one, deplete stamina handle. But this one, we're also going to need the regain stamina handle. Okay. So now we got both of those. Let's take our deplete stamina and unpause timer by handle. So now we're starting that depletion timer back up. So we become visible. We unpause that. So now we're starting to deplete our stamina again. Okay. And we need to, let's go ahead and see. I have this, it's differently in my cheat sheet. Actually, I just have these reversed. It's not different. Let's do this first. Let's go ahead and pull off the regain stamina, and we'll do clear and invalidate timer by handle. You may find if you've done anything with handles, this is one thing that changed in 4.12 was it used to just be called clear timer by handle, but now they invalidated it. So you'll get a deprecation warning if you have any other one of these prior to upgrading to 4.12. But we didn't have it in this project, but just so you know. Okay, so now we clear and invalidate this. And the last thing that we're going to do is go ahead and pull off the AI controller reference and do switch sleep right there. All right, yeah, in my cheat sheet, all I did was I had switch sleep before clearing and invalidating the timer. I don't know why I did that. I'm actually going to change that as soon as I'm done recording this episode. Maybe I'll do that right now. All right, see, no harm, no foul. All right, yeah, you guys didn't see me do that. I just had to do that real quick because chances are likely I was probably going to forget to do it. Not that it really mattered, but this way, we're not depleting or regaining both at the same time, right? So it'll just, even though it'll be real quick, you don't really notice. You can have it the other way. It's not a big deal. Okay. So let's go ahead and jump back into, let's compile and save that first. Let's jump back into the task enter exit building. Okay. And let's go ahead and finish off the coding here to exit the building. So we need to grab our controller. We've got that right there. Pull off of this. And we need to do leave location. Okay, plug this in. And the location we need to leave is this right here. Even though we set this to an object, it's accepting this as an actor reference. That's fine. It's just going to convert it from an actor to an object, which is fine because in here, we don't have that set up yet. We need to do that as well. It's just going to convert it. It's going to come out as an object instead of the actor. That should be okay. And where are we here? The AI controller. I got to check that leave location. Yeah. Okay. Let's do this real quick while we're in here so we can have this. We just created the exit building. So grab our MPC reference, the pawn reference right here. Let's get this and do exit No, we're going to need that. We need to do that. The exit building is off of this one. Exit building. There we go. Take our pawn reference, hook it into the MPC right there. And that should be good to go. Let's go ahead and grab a return node here, drop it in. And we're actually going to need another one down here. So let's just plug that in. Exit building. Just hook it up there. And then on the failed, let's just go ahead and plug this in here. Again, like I said, you may not ever need this. We'll probably want to return this one. But let's just set this up as a comment. So we'll say add other checks for different types of buildings/jobs. Okay. So almost everything except for the construction, like I said earlier, should really be handled or should be a child of the blueprint master. If it's not, then, well, you've got this here. So just set this up so you know that that's what this section is going to be for if you so choose. Compile that and save it. Okay, cool. No warnings or errors right there. All right, so now back to the enter and exit building. So we've got the leave location. So pull off of this. We need to branch this. Pull off. Did we exit the building successfully? If we did, grab your current location right here and let's clear our Blackboard value. Plug that in right there. All right. And then after clearing it, we need to create a new Blackboard key reference here, is busy. Let's just go key, Blackboard key selector is busy. Make sure it is set to be visible. And I'm just moving this up so all the Blackboard keys are together. So pull out the is busy and set Blackboard value as Boolean. Okay, and then hook this up here. And false. We want false to go through right there. And then just finish execute. Plug it in over there. And we were successful. If we made it through this far, we were successful in our execution. All right, and then just off the branch right here, let's go ahead and Control W our finish execute, hook it up to the false, and make sure that this is not true. All right, so if something happens here, if we didn't exit properly, it's going to return unsuccessful. Compile that and save it. Let's go ahead and comment this and exited, or we'll just call it exit building. Okay, so just to round this out up here, let's go ahead and finish this out up here. And we're just about wrapped up for the day, but let's just go ahead and finish hooking all this up, okay? So after new residency, pull off of this, and let's just do enter building, call the function enter building. Even though it's an event is a function, okay? So we're going to call this down here. All right, and that's all we need to do for that. And then off the false, let's just go ahead and delete that reroute. Off the false. The false is being, did we tick if this is a new residency or not? Okay, so if it's not being set as a new residency, which is only the one spot, is when you're homeless, are you setting a new residency? Otherwise, it will be false. So let's do a branch. And what we need to check on this branch, just like this new residency, let's go ahead and add another one. And we will call this one enter building. And you really probably shouldn't do question marks or anything after your variables. That's not a really good style. I'm considering doing an episode about style. So let's go ahead and add a comment here though in the tooltips. Enter building. Did MPC enter building? If false, then MPC exited building. So just that way you know what's going on. When you hover over, you go, what did I make that for? Did MPC enter building? If false, then MPC exited building. Okay, so let's go ahead and drag this, plug that in there. And are we entering the building? True. Go ahead and pull off of this and do enter building. And if it's false, you guessed it, exit building. Okay, just like that. That's all we need to do. Got this set up now. I know it seems kind of like we didn't accomplish too much at this point, right? Because all we did was here. We need to set this, though, while we're here. Enter building. We don't need to worry about that because actually, remember in the task, even though this is under homeless, it's going to automatically enter the building because we have it set as a new residence. So just come reconfirm here, new residence. It's going to set its tenancy, and then it's going to enter the building as well. Okay, so it's automatically going to enter the building once he gets a new home. So it doesn't matter if we set this true or false because this is already set to true. So none of this is going to run in that section of code right there. Okay, so we don't have to worry about setting there. If you want to, just for posterity reason, you can set it there. So that way, you know, visually when you're looking at it, he's entering the building. So you can go ahead and do that. Okay. Is at house. Now that's fine. The name of that one is fine. Save it. And yeah, we're at our 30 minutes right now. So I think that's about it. Just so we can feel like we accomplished something right here. Let's do wait. We're going to end up throwing in a random wait timer right here anyways. So in our custom one, let's just knock this down to a maximum of 1 second. All right. Because if he's tired, we don't want him hanging around too long because his energy will deplete, at least the way we have it set up now for testing, will deplete rather fast. If he goes the full 3 seconds, he'll lose quite a bit. So let's just set it down to 1 second. And yeah, I think that's it. I'm going to go ahead and record. I'm not going to edit this video right now. I'm going to change this. I'm going to edit this video right now. I'm just going to start recording the next episode. So that way I won't upload them at the same time. Give you guys a couple days in between so you can get to this one. But I will have both of them recorded and timed out. So you guys will get somewhat back-to-back setting of episodes. So I know we did quite a bit today, and it was important because now all that's set up. So it should be relatively, I cross my fingers, it should be relatively easy now to set this up. We're just going to have to create just a little bit. We're going to end up creating another task, one more task that we don't have to actually go to sleep, but that should be pretty darn easy to do. So the next episode should be able to round out this regain stamina. So as always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please do me a favor, go down and hit that like button. Helps me out a ton. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well. And until the next episode, peace.